Okay, thanks, Clinton.
Thank you. Enjoy the TR.
Thank you. If I don't, I'll blame you. Oh, he's got. Okay, guys. Good morning, all. I think most of the names that I recognise, so you know the score. It's moi, Roger, the trading support. Just let Anthony in. Yeah, all the people there have been before, so we know the score. Yeah, so I don't need to explain the requirements here. You all know it anyway. So I'm just going to shift over to the share the screen with the charts. Where are we now? There we are. I hope we can all hear me and see the charts. Yeah, we'll start at half past as normal. I just want to mention one thing. It happens now and again, not quite sure why, but my fiber seems to be not giving some issues. I've asked about it last time, they weren't sure, and then maybe a day later it comes back on again. The point I'm trying to make by this, I've got the router. I've put it outside to hopefully get a better. Just let these guys in. Cracks in my ear, and I just have to lose my thread. Okay, I've got outside to get a better reception. So bottom line is I'm on my router. So far, so good. But to help it along, I've taken off the video because we don't want interruptions with fiber. Router problems. So maybe it's a South Coast thing. Didn't have any problems like that up in Joburg. Anyway, whatever. But the point is, I got the router on. It's outside. Hopefully, get a better reception. I hope it goes swimmingly, as they say. But the reason I got my video closed off is just to save the data and the speed, etc. So we don't get interruptions like we have in the past. Hopefully they'll get it sorted out today, whatever the issue is, and by tomorrow. So it's hopefully not going to be ongoing. Wasn't last time. Don't see why it should be this time. But just so you know what's going on, I update you on that factor. Okay. Hope that was all good and all understood. Well, Mike, done, Michael. Absolutely. They are pending. A lot of people going at market, but it's not my fault. You know what I mean? If they don't read the signal, it's not my fault. Yeah. If they're going at market without looking at and checking it out, the risk reward won't be correct. They're chasing it a bit. If you miss the trade, you miss the trade. Some guys jump in, but we've all done it, and it comes out all right. And the other guys did the pending, missed out. Other guys jump in, and it shot up. They could have got a better price. People have got to understand this is not like equities or estate agents or property or whatever. This is T20 cricket compared to the 5-day cricket game. I think that's the best way to explain it. T20 cricket, not lots can happen. In a 5-day cricket game, the great Shane Warne once said, the best team will win. T20, not necessarily so. You could play a strong team against a weak one, and one of the guys in the weak team suddenly comes to the party, never does it again, and suddenly the strong team lose the match. This is T20, and a lot of because it's derivatives, it's leveraged instruments. It's very different to normal equity, and it's of course much more short term. And some of those short term movements can be rather surprising. Put it that way. Just bear that in mind. So always make sure you don't overexpose and check out your risk, etc. We put it all down for you at the entry price. If you enter a different price, it'll be slightly different to the figures, clearly. One pip won't kill it, but you know what I mean. Use a bit of common sense on that. Okay. I think this again, trying to get away from this blindly follow with people without buying something to learn from. Don't open it up and then blindly follow, which is fair enough. That's your choice. But don't blame somebody else. Don't blame me if you didn't pass the exam, but you never came to the lectures. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, 9:30. It should be utter common sense. I'm sorry going about it, guys, but people are doing it again, 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 trying to get it through to them. Okay, 9:30. We can start now. Yeah, both pending orders. I'd like to get a slightly better price. I'm going to go to a shorter term one on this one, and I'll give the reasons why. Non-farm perils, quite interesting. Right, the differential to the expected was only 30,000. Just let these guys in. Only 30,000. To remember the last one was a horrendous difference. I can't remember the figures actually. It was about 300 came in, 300 something came in, about 180 or whatever expected. Enormous difference. Yet the resultant movement wasn't that great. compared to Friday's movement, which is a small differential, but a greater movement. So always remember, even if you guess right, it was a better or less than expected, the reaction, you don't know till it occurs. With the most difficult thing with dealing with human beings is we're all similar. We get fear, greed, pain, all those sort of things, love, whatever. But our cultural, our emotional reaction to it is often unfathomable, even to a well-trained psychologist, never mind to the ordinary person. And that's what often moves the market, especially when you've got a very large retail volumes. Very, very large people now come onto the market, not institutions, not highly trained, but retail guys. And their strategy is more lack of knowledge, emotional more than anything else. And often they'll do stuff which is quite strange because that's emotional action. Now, Joe Soap with a couple of K in the account ain't going to make any difference. But Joe Soap, there's a million of Joe Soaps around. Collectively, it makes a difference. And that's why you sometimes get some irrational movements. That's why you got to get your volumes correct. Don't overexpose. Even, however confident you are, have a look at the trade, gain the knowledge. You can actually look at it for climbing in. Look at the EP. Look at the setup first. It's an idea. It's not till you jump in blindly. You're not in the army where the general's telling the private obey orders. No, look at it and then make your assumption. And no, you can get 3 or 4 bad ones, 3 or 4 good ones. And then with more expertise, you still might get 3 or 4 good or bad, but you're still staying in the game. And over a period of time, you should do better. I've done it that way for a while, and I get some bad times. Sure, we all doing some good times. You think you're God. Other times you think you're lower than, excuse my language, shark shit shadow, and just want to give up. That's the emotional playing a game. Just remember those basics and get those volumes right, and understand this is much, much faster than equity. Equity is no derivatives. You put a deposit down with this. If it's 100 to 1, it's 100 times faster. You're driving 100 times faster motor vehicles, 1,000 to 1, 1,000 times faster. And just bear that in mind. Don't go in because I want a higher leverage that and a clue the pros and cons or what even leverage is. That is what's frustrating, and that's why people get hurt financially. And it's unnecessary because they didn't take the trouble to learn to do it properly. They went on some Instagram or some salesman who's dressed up in a smart suit, standing in front of bloody Learjet and preaching all sorts of wonderful something for nothing dreams, and it will come back and bite. So just try and be understanding. If it's something for nothing, it's probably worth squat. You got to put some effort in, got to get the knowledge, got to get the equipment, and got to get the capital. Otherwise, you will lose. I'm going to be quite honest with you. You will lose. Pussyfooting is really hurting people who can least afford to lose. And be cruel, not being cruel to be, yeah, I'm being cruel to be kind or harsh to be kind. Okay, but it's got to be understood. Read the signal, come to the trade room. Okay, go for it. Yes, sorry, I'm waffling on. Go for it. What do you want to say?
Yes, Roger, thanks. Just on the thought, I agree with you. We also have to not jump in like soldiers, but to look at what is being put and analyze it for ourselves. But there's one thing I want to check with you. When you can send a signal, for example, this morning at 8:30.
Yeah.
I just want to understand, are you saying, for example, this price, this sell price for both USD Chef and CAD Chef, that anticipated price, are you saying when it gets to that price today, you can sell? Or because I looked at 6 o'clock in the morning and the other one at 4, they were at that price.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. But I wasn't up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know about you.
Someone who receives this signal at 8:30 thinks it's too late. So I just want to understand, when you guys sending it, are you not you're not considering what happened at 4, but you're saying what would happen during the day?
Yeah, I see what you mean now. Okay, yeah. That's why it's a pending order. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but I wasn't up and about from a computer on at 2 o'clock in the morning and just spot on. Listen to what he asked there, guys. This is important. No, it wasn't on. So we sent it out. I get exactly where you come from. Fantastic question. Really want to go into this now. So what happens? That trade idea comes out at, let's say, 8:30 in the morning, whenever it came out. And you go back, Musi and company, so was there at 2. Have I missed it? That's unfair. Why I've seen it Hopper State was at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, that means it didn't reach there till 2. We weren't awake at that time, but we want to get in at the better price. So that becomes a pending order. I hope that makes sense. So no, you didn't miss it by not getting in. How the hell did Roger and company get into that price? Is he work 24/7 round the clock? No, I didn't get into that price. I'm not even in it at the moment. I would say I'm going to wait and hopefully it comes back to that price. If you chase it at this price down here, okay, remember on the hourly now, let's go to a daily. Well, this price down here hasn't broken through yet. It might get after move down there. A few buyers taking profit. A lot of remember, there's millions of people trading different strategies. There's scalpers out there. There's high-speed traders in and out all the bloody time, and it might get a bit upside. So we thought, let's try and simulate what happened at 2 and get that price again. What happens if it doesn't? It goes up, doesn't hit your spending order at that level and comes on, you will miss the trade. So be it. There'll be other opportunities. Try and get rid of the fear of missing out. If you have a trade where you miss 2 or 3, don't panic. You might have one tomorrow. Don't say, oh, I've got to start trading. I've got to make money quickly because I owe this money so-and-so. You will lose that way. No, the market, it doesn't care about you. It gives millions of people to care about. As I said before, I'm not far from knocking the deity, but a very, very strong person is praying it to go up. Well, there's an equally strong, wonderful human being praying for it to go down. Why should you or the other person be favored over the other? So it'll do what it thinks. So we're saying by that, I hope I'm asking the question, Music, it's quite important on this. We're saying, no, nobody's in it yet. If you chase it now, fair enough. That's your choice, as long as you're not blindly going and you made that decision. If you go over 120 on the motorway, that's up to you. But don't cry if you get caught. So if we're saying, I actually wouldn't mind going around there, but I'm not sure it's going to get to maybe the round figure of 0.9. So I thought 89.80 gets you a risk reward, and we can't time the market. Even if it goes up a little bit more. Well, I didn't know that. Nobody does. Just to say, let these guys in. Nobody knows. But as long as you stop us out the way, it doesn't trigger your stop, pops up maybe to 89, 90, 80. So be it. Some guys might have missed it, getting a slightly better one. Okay, hang on, 80 is a sell and I'm in at 90. Well, that's better. You're getting a better trade because you're getting a better price. Lucky you. You go in at the right, you opened up your computer and saw the signal, maybe at the right time. Or you opened too late, you missed it. We don't know. That kind of bump around. I have the slightest clue whether it's going to go up there or down. Nobody in the world has. I want to be absolutely clear. We take an overall viewpoint, going through the fundamental and technical aspects thing. It looks like the situation, which I'll explain why after all this diatribe of mine, as to what will happen. After that, future movements is in the hands of the market. As simple as that. Okay. I can give you a long-term view in Apple. I think it'll worth a lot more in 5 or 10 years' time. Piece of tacky. What will worth the next 5? Well, it's closed at the moment. But it was open now. What's going to be worth the next hour or two? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's completely different to longer term. It's 2020 versus a 5-day test match. I hope that makes sense.
Thanks, Roger. I got the clarity I needed. Thanks, man.
Oh, you did. You're a star. Thanks. I want people to interact and do what Muzi just did because it's very important. It's going through mind, they're understanding. It can be clarified in the trading room, and then it'll put it to rest. If I can't, I'll be honest, Muzi, I think you know me by now. Hey, guys, Marcus does. If I don't know, I'll say so. There's too many bloody chances out there, and especially in this business. I'm trying to get proper trading principles, and I have to say I do get it wrong. Most of those guys won't tell you that. I will admit it. And sometimes my fault, but a lot of the time it's market reaction, to be honest. Okay. Now, my signal this morning, don't have a price. Right. The problem is a lot of guys have phones. Now, we put the banner or the phone, but we don't put the details. There's some reason by it. I don't know the tech reason there. The details are put on the laptop. But I'm going to say to a person, if you want to make money, I'm going to start to get sort of harsher or stricter on this. If you want to make money in any enterprise, you do need knowledge, the right equipment, and the right amount of capital. If you don't have all three of them, you're going to lose. It's as simple as that. I want to open up a business as a mechanic. I don't know much about mechanics. I've got a plastic a span and a plastic hammer and a plastic screwdriver, and I haven't got a car, so I've got to walk and hitch out to see the guy. What chance do I have? You know what I mean? Try and understand that. So it's trying to encourage people, if you want to do it, you need money, you need the right equipment, you need a laptop. A phone is mobile. It's handy to just quickly check, in a business meeting, you want to quickly check the price on your phone or go to the loo if they're going to look at you and quickly check it, modify your stop, enter it or whatever. You don't play around and think you're going to make money doing strategy on the phone. That's not the purpose. And as I say, one guy that blew his account, was overexposed and had hardly any money in there anyway. Yeah, it's just too many people out there are trying to come on some Instagram sold bandwagon. They can get something for nothing. It is not going to happen. I'm sorry to get harsh, guys, but I'm trying to be saying this every bloody time, and people just don't see getting it. Really, you've got to know it. You're not going to make money. You haven't got a clue. You will not. It will not happen. I applied for a doctor's job the other day. I had a 3-day course I bought, didn't even look at it. One of I got turned down for the job. For goodness sake, use some common sense. Okay. Just a way to get an uptake, markets. I'm not being harsh. I'm saving you time. If you think that's going to happen, the couple $100 you got will save it for you. You're wasting your time. Quite frankly, if people phone me up, want me to teach them with 200 rand their account, wasting mine. It's like asking me to work for £1 an hour. Sorry, mate, not going to happen. Hope that's all clear. Okay, don't want to be harsh. You've got to get it through because it's getting ridiculous. Okay, so if you missed the trade, tough, but rather wait for it. Okay, the same with the CAD CHF. Why are we looking at these two? So we are, yeah. I don't like overexposed one currency, but I couldn't find anything else much better. We might have a few potential coming in during the week, but unfortunately, both of them, it did involve the Swiss franc, which I think at the moment is oversold. Morning, Zeph. I'm not sure about the sell. Looks like it's setting up for an upward moving trend line. Okay, now you're talking technically. I'm going to go on the fundamental side. Since the non-farms came out, the dollar's weakened quite a bit. And I think it's going to go ongoing. 80% institutional institutions reckon it's going to be a pause way into next year, as includes next December potential interest rate. They think it's going to be a pause on it, so they could see some dollar sideways to some dollar weakness coming in. Okay, so going into this week, remember we got coming up on Tuesday, I think it is. Just give me a second. I've got it written down here. Where are we? Aussie dollars coming out on Tuesday, interest rate decision. On Wednesday, Powell speaking at 4:15 our time. I always talk when I talk time, our time. No more their time. We're instant our time. And Powell again is speaking at 9 o'clock on Thursday. The weekly jobless claims, I think it's a GDP coming out of the pound. But otherwise, it's a fairly trading week rather than a trending week after the enormous amount of data coming out on the fundamental side last week. So that's why I think the Swiss franc will strengthen a bit. I see a little bit of dollar weakness continuing. That's why I also looked at the Canadian weakening a bit. It's purely on the fundamental side before we come to the technical. The Canadian, because oil has come off a bit. What's it name? The biggest import in the world is China, is weakened a bit. It's got a couple of issues, and they import the oil. It's come off a little bit. And then the biggest trading partner with Canada is America. I'll look at your question in a minute. I'm just trying to remember my track here. The biggest trading partner is America. It's not exactly the same, doesn't follow it a bit. So I see there could be going into this week a bit of dollar weakness and a bit of US dollar weakness. And that's why I looked at the possibility of a bit of strength coming on the Swiss franc, which is the most stable currency of the lot for many reasons I've given in the past. That's what I thought of it. Now, I'm going to the daily at the moment. As you can see, it's in the sell zone technically, and I'll go quickly over to the other one, which is the US dollar. It's, well, on the daily, it's a little bit more intermediary, but it's not the strong zone. And I thought from that aspect, there might be some downside to this area if we get a better price. That's the reason behind I thought those two would come out on the pending order area. I want to continue on this subject. I think I'm just looking at the other chart, looking at your question, and I want to make sure we're on the same page so I don't lose my thread. Going forward now, we got 8 of crosses and majors. You all know those 8 currencies. Right. In the past, Aussie dollar and the New Zealand dollar were what we call the riskiest of the two, and they've been a risk off. Now they're going risk on. What does that basically mean in English? It means they've been the ones to sell. Now it looks like they could be coming quite strong. That, because they're the most risky, that could be for a couple of weeks, then change their mind 2 weeks later. Not the antithesis of the Swiss franc instability. So I think going in, there could be some strength scraping those two currencies going the next week or so. The pound, we all know about the economic problems in the there, but because of high inflation, there's a threat of more interest rate increases coming out, which could strengthen the pound. And they seem to be under Governor Bailey, etc., seem to be trying to do something about it. So there could actually be some pound strength coming in. So going this, I'm watching a bit of weakness in the dollar, a bit of weakness in the Canadian. Euro is going into a recession. Okay, they've gone hawkish, but it's still going to recession. So there could be some weakening, despite the hawkish on Lagarde's attack on the economy, or sort of what's the attack? You know what I mean? A look at the economy. It looks like the euro is being in recession could exhibit some weakness. I'm giving where I think strong and weak ones. Japanese yen, slightly unknown. They continue their bond buying, which will weaken their yields. And they're still battling to increase interest rates because of massive debt to GDP. That's why they're still remaining on the dovish. They might have to change the tune soon. Government intervention may want to continue to work till they run out of money. But at the moment, I still think the yen is a little bit iffy to play with. If it's very weak, it could intervention. It might suddenly become strong, but we'll have to find out why that is. So the yen, I'm a little bit careful of. So I'm looking going forward, strong Swiss franc. And that's the only one I see as a heavyweight at the moment, approaching a potential heavyweight from the middleweight department. Could be the pounds, New Zealand, and what's the other one, the Aussie, but not as yet. And now, in my opinion, the middleweight category is the Canadian and the dollar. Okay, the euro is approaching the weaker of the lot of them at the moment, with the Japanese yen a bit of an unknown factor. I'm looking around on that sort of basis going forward. We've got a bit of trading week, not a whole load of fundamentals come in, so we might get slower movement, but we might get a little more peace from these radical moves we had in the last 3 days, Wednesday to Friday, as we all know. So this is a little bit of caution involved. And I look at quite a few UK traders who are pretty whiz kids, pay a fantastic amount of money, but they're very, very, very jacked. And listen to one or two of them, and they've had a tough time of it. As I said, it's one of the most difficult, volatile times. All these fundamentals, the Middle East conflict coming out as well, and so much debt flying around. So this is a time where we can make money, but be cautious about it, and don't treat it like a gambling casino where you're a bit pissed, have a bit of fun, put it all red, and cry when black comes up. Play it with a bit of discipline. And hopefully, as I say, we'll get some trades that will work. Hope that all makes sense. Okay. Just see some of the guys' comments. Just going to look at the comment section there before I go into the one you requested there, Reno. Where are we now? Morning, Roger. On the US still, I'm not sure where I put trend line. There's upper channel legacy amount of channel line go. Could well be, but I'm sticking to guns on that for reasons I gave. Want to ask how long should I be in the trail to get signal? I've got some new guys coming in. Good stuff to ask that question. Clearly new. Welcome to the trading room. Right. The answer to that, Bella, is nobody in the world knows. It could be a few hours, could be a couple of days, might even be a week or so. You no idea. It depends on market volatility, market action. We can correct volume size. We can get knowledge. We can do a lot of things we can work on to correct. Market movements we have no control of. Once you're in the market, what happens to that price action? Nobody knows. There's millions, literally millions of people out there going in and out trading. That's what we call the noise. And we have no control of that. If you ask me on this one, will it go up to there or down there the next hour? My answer, we shall see. Look at that candle here. Look at that. This is a daily chart, right? Look at that candle here compared to this candle here, where my crosshair is. Very different. So when you take the trade, what you should be doing is not staring at it all the time. Keep an eye on it. If it's going in the right direction, don't get your stop loss too close. We can modify it to reduce risk. After a while, if it's going well, you should get to break even, take the risk out, and then it should be better than your market entry. So if you do get stopped out, you're still making a profit. You can even cut your position, etc. You can take a bit of profit here and let the SRS run. Those things you can learn in the trade, not trade, in the what you call it, the platform training, etc. You need to get yourself equipped with this bit of knowledge before diving in. I don't want to go another lecture on that because the majority seem to be doing that, and it's not cool. Okay, so that's the bottom line. If somebody says, oh, it's been 2 weeks, I'm telling you that guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or she doesn't know what they're talking about. And a lot of guys are unqualified to speak on this subject and are doing that. And that's creating problems. And they're usually salespeople selling dreams and something for nothing that are actually backed up with any substance. I'm trying to say, let's try and get this done properly. It's going to take some grind, but your chance of passing the exam are higher than going in with some sort of pie in the sky dream. Sorry about that. Okay. And if you try to demo, you're wasting your time. Go for it. Go.
I don't understand. I don't actually understand why we have to be selling this USDCHF at the moment, because when I'm looking at the weekly, it tells me a different story.
Okay, good question. Let's have a look. Okay, the week looks in the sell zone, number one, and I gave a bit of a say on the fundamentals, a bit of support there. So I want to get slightly better price. But the reason being is I think the Swiss franc is going to strengthen going forward. I think the US dollar is going to weaken. We can go for the 4-hour chart, and it's broken again on the sell zone, the 4-hour. It's hovering a little bit, but I think there could be some more downside to come. That's the reason.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. I want you to answer these questions because I get doubts myself. That's why I like you to ask them. I could be bloody well wrong. And oh my goodness, I missed that. Thanks very much. No, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. That's what I'm looking at. Fundamentals based with that area. I think it could be a downside. And the recent weakness, remember that goes up. That's dollar strength weakness coming in. Just put the dollar index up there. I hope you've all got it. I'll just give it to you if you don't. Some few new guys here. Give me a second. Before I let that person in, I just want to get this guy out of the way. And just give me a moment. I'll put out. That's a dollar index. And it's broke by 105. That's what I'm thinking as well. Economic calendar. I'm going to put in for you as well. That needs to be kept an eye on. There you are, giving it to you there. And the 10-year yields. I'm going to put in, that's the US. Everything's US unless I say otherwise. That needs to be kept an eye on as well. Okay, there we are. So copy paste that, keep them handy. Good stuff. All right, hopefully I answered that. Just going to go over the comments there again because each one's including a trade area. GBP USD for a buy. Yes, I'm on that. Look at that. If we get a decent price, I'm with you after what I've been talking about. Thanks, Reno. Right, I agree on that. Is this the currency or am I late? Right, Bella, no, it's the current signal. You're not late on it. No, as Muzi spotted, well spotted, Muzi. It was those that earlier this morning. It's what's called a pending order. I'd like to get at a better price. If we don't get it and it continues down, we miss the trade. I wouldn't be chasing it now. Sometimes you see get a better price. Remember, they don't say it in the signal, but all of them get at that price or better. Hope you understand that. Sell at 10 or better. If you're selling short, if it better means a higher price. Okay, sell at that price or better. If it's slightly higher price, for goodness sake, don't put a stop in. You want to get that price, getting a better price. So the market's moving all the time. Whether that goes up higher or lower, we don't know. So we think that's right about okay to try it out there. If it goes up a bit more, fair enough. We've got to stop out the way, and those joining late will be able to get the sell in. So yeah, the current signal is a pending order. You either wait or you put a sell limit in if you like it. If you like it, you might not like it. It is your choice. It's not saying I'm going to go it blindly and it goes wrong, blame me. No. A lot of people seem to think I bloody well know what that's going to do. I don't. Nobody does. Nobody does. We take an overall view and hope it comes to party. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way. So be it. Something happened brilliantly. Fantastic. But that's the point to look at it. This, again, is short-term leverage trading. It's not equities where you're paying cash. Okay. Very, very different ball game. That's why I like if you play cricket or no cricket. It's very much equity is a bit like 5-day game. T20 is derivatives, a completely different setup. Okay. A lot more exciting, some would say. Hey, okay. Answer your question, guys. If I miss it, please ask again. Very important. And don't forget, you can unmute and ask, just like Muzi did. AUDNZD. I'm going a bit wet. Oh, sorry, do this first. Let's have a look. My problem with that, if you buy it now, you've got some problems coming up and a bit of support and the 200-day moving average in with the costs involved, just over 30 pips time. So plus looking at the wick there, just go zoom out a bit. The wick there is a bit indecisive, this levels. So I think there's a possibility of upside here. Merrill, we wouldn't be saying that last week. I agree, Merrill. I think there's some possible upside. but not at that price. You know what I'm saying? Best way to put it is to understand, guys. I like your house, Merrill, and I'd like to buy it, but your price is too high. Do you remember the great Muhammad Ali? I like your show and I like your style, but your pay's so bad I won't be back for a while. And you're old enough to remember him. Most people vote him the greatest sportsman of all time. Very intelligent guy, and he's member for his very amusing poetry, and that was one of them. So yeah, I like it, but the price is too high. I want to buy it if you can come back, retest this level here, and bounce off. It's 80 pips, so I get that. Well, miss the trade. But if it bounces off there, I'll look to buy it. I'll check my dollar index. It's still remaining fairly weak, and I'm happy to go for it. Hope that makes sense. Okay, if any discussion that you don't agree with, please say so. Like Muzi said, or like Jacob said, hang on a minute, I was looking for a buy. What's going on here? That's fine. I won't do that. And then it's up to me to justify. If I can't, well, I get egg in my face, and well done, Jacob or Muzi or whoever asked the question. Okay, happy with that. Okay, as long as it makes sense, that's fine. If it doesn't, well, maybe someone else can explain or have a completely different point of view. I want everyone to understand that. These are points of view. Nobody gets it right all the time. No gets hopefully wrong all the time. But we can control things like over exposure, understanding derivatives, things like that we can control. Okay. That's correct, Marcus. Thank you for the support. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking maybe a bit upside, but I tell you what, I'm a little bit worried about oil at the moment. We look at something else. Oh yeah, ADCH. Look at that moment, Sam. Could be, but I'm worried about the Aussie at the moment. The Aussie and New Zealand, like I mentioned earlier on, are very much risk on at the moment, and they might get a bit more strength going into them. So I still want to buy the Swiss franc, but at the moment, I'd rather wait and sell it against maybe a slightly weaker currency. I'm just a little bit nervous for that. At the moment, things might change going into the week or going to next week. But for that reason, I think I'll avoid it. But I'll look at it getting more detail in a minute. Right, WTI. Yeah, I've been looking at even on my weekly and snippet put out there. If it comes back, maybe 80 or something. Actually, I think I was using the Brent, but we'll go to WTI, same thing. Maybe 80 as a buy, or maybe down here, maybe as a buy. I don't know. But only worry oil at the moment. There's so many fundamental balls in the air. Okay, so many. The Middle East conflict at the moment is staying within the Gaza and Israel. We haven't all producers getting too involved except Iran, and they're behind the financial air and probably the brains as well. But that's another story. But certainly financially, Hamas do not have the Tom. Simple, don't have it. Just want to just mute yours. Bit of bracket going on there. Remind me to unmute, guys, if you want to speak. Hamas don't have the Tom. Iran does. So they're saying, right, we'll sponsor you. You take the bloody blame. You put your lives on the stake. We'll sit in the background. Fair enough. Cynical, but so it is. But the other ones don't get involved because where's the paycheck coming? If you're an oil producer, your paychecks come with those buying your product. Hey, it's a little bit nervous. They might agree and all that, but it always comes down to the money. They're a bit nervous to sort of spit in the eye of the person who's buying their product. So they're staying out at the moment. As long as it continues that way, Israel's been quite upfront. We're going to give our hostages back or we're going to continue to attack you. Well, we'll come to that in a minute, Chris. We'll continue to attack you. But still, this worries out there how it's going to occur. It might escalate. That's what I'm saying. We'll see. But that would could affect oil as well. To a positive term. But the problem is, even there's a bit of recession in Europe. The Chinese have problems a bit around. Even not really a recession in America. Their debt is a major problem, major problem. And electric cars coming. It's a long way to go, but it's coming that way. So in the requirement is coming down a bit. So it could actually pull back a bit further. My take is this: I'm not sure the producers will want it round about the 70, 75 mark. We'll talk about WTI, don't really matter. I'll do that, okay? So they might start reducing production, which will obviously force it up on the supply and demand basis. So, yeah, I'm leaning towards agreeing with you, but I'm just a little bit nervous at the moment. I'd be more confident at the 200-day moving average to buy it or maybe a look at maybe $80 or something, have a look at it. But at the moment, I'm a bit wary, so I'm staying aside. Gold, on with that subject of commodities, gold I'd like to buy. As a scalper, probably look at it now, but we're not scalpers here. Unless you got all the time in the world in front of your computer, and that's what you do, scalp it, gold, maybe a buy, take it up. If you have got other stuff, or you're new, you're not sure what scalping is, you're brand new to it, rather look to see a bigger pullback for slightly longer term buy. If otherwise, leave it alone. That's the commodity section. Hope you understand that. AUD CHF, we're already in 2 Swiss francs. We got a little bit burnt last week at the Swiss franc. I'm a little bit nervous to go to 3rd Swiss franc. Okay, so if you like it, we can look at it, but I'm just a bit nervous. I did look at it this morning. I'm a little bit nervous. AUD CHF, we'll pick it up as we speak. Okay, where's the 200? Should be out somewhere. Let's have a look. As I thought, yep. Crunch it a bit. Yeah, that's probably easier. Yeah. There could be a situation to get some more strength Aussie coming in, but I think the Swiss franc's going to strengthen a bit without even looking at the chart. So I would say we already got 2 Swiss francs out. Going to another one, which could get some of the Aussie, etc., strength come in. I'd rather be a little bit careful on that. Same with the New Zealand. The only one I might consider downside is the euro, but then you'll have 3 on the Swiss franc. Do you understand what I'm saying? You'll have 3. I think the possibility, I think we've got a trade idea out there anyway, but I think it's an absolute maximum go into one currency with 3 different trades, then you're overexposed in that one currency. Please try and understand and remember that. And so I do think out of the Aussie and New Zealand, if you want to take another one, even the GBP, I would look at this one because, as I say, they've officially gone into recession there. No surprise there, despite a hawkish attempt at doing the opposite. Too many different countries, too many social policies which have to be paid for, and not enough capitalists who care about paying for them, especially they're maligned right, left, and center in the press. I'm paying you your salary and you're calling me an arsehole. I mean, hang on a minute. You know what I mean? So so I think it's on that direction at the moment. So that would be my 3rd choice, but I think most guys are in it, including myself at the moment. Okay, hope that's all clear. If not, we can discuss further. It makes it more interesting to trade and we can all learn from it. Okay, now, I just want to go back. Sorry, Chris, I'll come to a minute. What Dirk said there, I'm just going back and checking the comments there. To a couple of weeks, made a nice profit on gold. Please listen to what he said there. Everyone wants to get in the market, be out 10 seconds later. Everyone wants to then, and they're not in the market, look for a trade to get in again. So as soon as you're not in the market, you want to jump in. Quite normal. That myself, not so much now, in the past, I mean. Quite normal human emotional reaction. When you're not in, you want to get in. Soon as you start panicking with the ups and downs of the market, you want to get out again. That's emotional trade. It's not disciplined. Now, Dirk, he's been around a bit. He's learned a bit. Good man. He's hung on. And he's made a couple of weeks on that gold, and he's made a nice profit. He didn't say, soon I got a bit of profit, I'm taking it. Soon I'm in a loss, I'll hang on to my loss until it comes right, which it doesn't, or it might do, but if it doesn't, then every time he wins, he makes 10 Rand. Every time he loses 100 Rand. Clearly, that's not the way forward. You should, in theory, if you lose 60% of the time and win only 40, you should still come ahead because you're not running with your losses, you're running with your profits. But the emotional panic obviously overtakes that rationale. That's where the discipline comes in. Well done, Dirk. Good stuff. We can certainly look at it. I'm still happy with it. It's jumping around a little bit. Yeah, look at the sort of this one the daily, eh? 4 hour, jumping around a bit, but look at it, it's trying to move up instead of coming in. I think you're going to need some patience on this, guys. But if you, like Dirk just said there, you might be in the rest of the week, might go into next week. So be it. Okay, the market will do what the market does, but my analysis of this, I think the short guys are likely to come right. But again, please believe me, I don't 100% know. That's a likelihood. Okay, and oh yes, thank you, there, Gerard. Oh, sorry, Edwin. Beg your pardon, Edwin. Yes, don't forget. When is it? I think it's Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Check. I've got it written down actually. Yeah, Tuesday, Aussie interest rate decisions coming up, and they're expecting an increase. They had a bit of problems with the inflation lately. They're expecting a 25 basis point increase coming out tomorrow. So that's got to be borne in mind as well. That's why a trading room is so useful. I don't care how good you are, Gerard, you're going to miss something. I don't care how good you are, Edwin or Dirk or Anthony, you're going to miss something. Oh, don't care, Roger or Warren Buffett or whoever your wife or mate is, you're going to miss something. And that's why all the brains together, we can check out something and that's good. Okay, yeah, don't forget, sorry, I've got it written down here. Interest rate decision coming out tomorrow morning when we're all in theory asleep, and that expected increase. If they don't increase or they increase further, have a bit of effect. It'll still have an effect, however, if it is as expected. So yeah, that be wary of that, and just bear that in mind what I mentioned. And that should get some AUD strength come in, which will compound my point. I would not be trading AUD at the moment on the short side. Okay. Okay, is it pushed up to take it? Yeah, we've gone the bid, remember, not on the buy. Has it got to 80 yet? Let's have a look at the 15-minute chart. Did it take you in? Not quite. It might have sucked you in if you got a sell at 80. It might have missed you by a couple of points, but it practically got there. Did anybody get a pending order at 80, 89, 80, a sell limit, and got taken in? Anybody do that out there? Just need to tell me on that one. I haven't done it myself. A bit late now. Bugger it. So busy buddy doing stuff this morning. I missed it myself. Anyway, that happens. Anybody got taken in on this one? At the proper 89, 80 mark on the bid. Okay, you got taken in. Did you get an 80s? I don't know when you got. Okay, that's fair, Muzi. You got taken in, but what I want to know: do you get into the price to signal? I'm not good getting taken in if you ended, let's say, a lower price. Letabella. So if Gertrude get in and Muzi didn't get in, I'm just interested why you got in. Sorry, Florence. I pronounced that. Florence, you said I did, but then you say you got in another price. Missing the point of the question. Did you get in at 89.80? That's what I'm trying to ask, Florence. Florence, are you there? Seems to take a long time for people to respond. Not quite sure that is. Did you get in 89.8? So I'm trying to ask. Do you want to hold the next hour up trying to wait for the answer? It didn't take long. Didn't take the trade. Fair enough. Did you get in? So nobody's in at the moment except Florence. Now Florence turns around to go another price. Well, that's completely missing the point. Did you get in at 89.80? I can't simplify any more than that. Are you with me? And all I answer yes or no. And hopefully information wouldn't be bad to say where you got in. 89.80. Brilliant. So you got in at 89.80. I hope it's on the bid, not on this one. But if you put a sell limit in, it would have been on the bid anyway automatically. Okay, well, already in a bit of a profit. Well done. That's fine, Mike. Well, with all respect, Mike, you know the score. All this chit chat's not aimed at Mike and Gerard and Cecil and we were a couple other guys, Chris, etc. It's not aimed at them. It's guys who are still learning to help them to try and wash out their brains from the BS they see on Instagram and whatever the guys pitch out there, you know. Okay, fair enough, Dion. That's fine. I mean, you know the score. You can use your head a bit. It might not get 80. I'm not going to lose that potential trade, which I believe in, for half a bloody pip. Clearly, I mean that, but try not to complicate for beginners. You can think around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Once you know the laws, you can play around them. Until you know the law and stick with them. Well, the guys have got it. It filled at that level. Looks like Florence had the patience to wait, and to a certain extent, Mike starting to see a bit of profit. Good stuff. Let's go see the CAD CHF. Sorry, I'm holding the other guys up some of the questions. Just want to check that. Did that get to, where is it now? 80. It should have been sucked in on the 15-minute. Yeah, should have been sucked in, or was it? 80, 65, no, not quite. Was it 80? It's CAD CHF? Yeah, not quite sucked in, but pretty close. Did anyone take this trade? Slightly lower than the signal. Oh, sorry. Yeah, beg your pardon. Will do. Anyone taking this sort of signal? Maybe Mike, I don't know, slightly below. Okay, Gerard. Okay, go for it. I've unmuted. Well done, Marcus. Poor, no problem. It's popping up a bit. You might get it still. Not to say it's right, might still go wrong. Please understand that. Got a lot of kickback from somebody on Friday who's very upset with me because that person is not used to the ramifications of the extraordinary volatility that can happen in a highly emotional, transparent derivative market. Okay. Okay, Edwin. Okay, right. Sorry, Gerard, I've unmuted. Do you want to say something? By the way, guys, if you want to have a bit of a fun at my expense, speak to enough Afrikaans and you have a great laugh. Or Zulu or Greek or something, or Portuguese, Zef, if you want to take the mickey. I'm not very proud of the fact I've been around, traveled, but I can speak one language, not my finest hour. That's no excuse. Disgusting. I went for a trail walk of the weekend. There's another flyman in that pond there, been over here longer than me, actually. Also can't speak any other language. And I said, any excuse? Said, no, just bone bloody idleness. Okay, no problems, F. Got stuff to do. Yeah, I know. A lot of people were. Don't worry. Some big guys out there, very experienced big money traders out there got burnt last week. So you're not alone there, Florence. Not alone. We had a slew. Looking back, maybe we should just left the market alone from Wednesday. A lot of stuff came out that stuffed us around. Nothing to do with the technicals. Okay, I'm muted anyway if anyone wants to chat. Okay, I want to come back to, I think it's, what is that? Chris, I think it was Chris earlier on. I've been missing him out, and he's a very valuable trader. What was it? BK, Berkshire Hathaway, I think it was. Forgot the bloody code. I haven't traded for so long. What was the code again? Oh, BKB.
Roger, it's BRK.B. Warren Buffett's company increased by 40% to a record high of 157 billion turnover.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, but he's got most of it in cash. I think he's got most of that 178 billion in cash, actually, waiting for opportunities. He's very high in cash at the moment, waiting for opportunities. Now, let's talk about Warren Buffett. The legendary guy became one of the wealthiest guys in the world through investing. How did he do that? He went in, found companies not just looked at great potential, but had great management as well. He sent his accounts in and his managers in to look at the people. I mean, you might have Joe Bloggs is a pretty good guy, but is he a great manager? Look at the people involved and the rest of it. And then he will then go in and invest in that company heavily and look at it for a long-term investment. He is not doing derivatives. He's looking at long-term. Okay. Now, that's fine. The problem with today, remember the guy's approaching 90 at the speed of light. The problem today is that things change far more rapidly than when he was a long-term investor. There was stability in the world. We didn't all have cell phones. There wasn't a change every year or so in technicals where the guys were expert and well paid and got a degree in some technical thing a couple of years ago. Now it's no more. Something else has taken over. Now they've got skill in something that's no more. It's changes rapidly. So the long-term perspective now is not what it was. Everything is not short-term like derivative, but even equity can be a little bit on the far much shorter term. And of course, when you're 90, it's very difficult to change your ways. I'm saying 9, what is he, about 88 or 85, whatever it is, very difficult to change your ways. And he's got caught big time. But I think, quite frankly, that's mostly because he's in cash waiting for the opportunities. And his partner's pretty old as well. Okay, right. Now we'll come to, where is it now? BRK. Now, when you get a news thing coming out, just go over this. Where is it now? It's on the, here we are. When you get a news thing coming out, you can see that fundamental jump. Right. The problem with that is it comes out normally, these big releases, after the market's closed. So when it opens, it's a much different price. So a lot of people think, I've just got this news, let's act on it. I'm sorry, guys. By the time, remember, who puts the news out? Like Bloomberg, for instance, or investing.com or JP Morgan put the news out. Who's going to get the news first? Well, Bloomberg, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. You get the idea. Not you, with all due respect. You get it last. So by the time you get it, it's old news. So now that we know, this is what we know, it's going to get a fantastic figures come out. We know it's going to be very good for the share price. Can you take advantage? Well, no, you can't, because it will open up at that level. It won't open up at this level, so you can take advantage. It'll go back to a lot of people having that big jump. What was that jump there? $68. What are they going to do? What are you going to do, Chris? What are you going to do, Cecil, Zeph? $68 jump and 5 seconds of opening. What are you going to do? You're going to bloody take it. Well, look what happened. The guys took it. What happens then? As they take it, they're selling, aren't they? Brings it down again. Look what's happening here. So where to go from here? Well, let's give another example. Where to go from here? Let's look at this one and let's put this one out. Where's that going to go from here? Same issue. You get my point? Right. Are you with me? One up there. That's better. Okay. That was the wrong one on 15-minute, but you get the point. So where's it going to go from there? All right, it's not a sudden jump. That was the 15-minute one. I do beg your pardon, but still a massive jump. So it's going up, quite frankly, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Good news there. Sellers come in. So does that mean it's a good idea for a buy? Probably yes. The next question is, assume the market's open now, which it isn't. Probably the same result. If you buy it now, sorry, excuse me. If you buy it now, you've got a little bit of a hurdle there, which is $1 away on a $350 share. $1 on Ford at $11, $10, $11, $12 is nothing. It's a big moves. On $1, it's nothing. Okay. Will it go there? $2? No, you've got to be looking at $20, $30 potential here to make it worth your while. Maybe that's exaggerated, but you get the idea. Okay. So you want to be getting maybe after a pullback or miss the trade. So as a trading possibility on this one, that news discounts the market. It's back to where you think is a good entry, like everything else. Trying to get people away, this no-brainer, something for nothing. In case you get lucky, most times it's bloody well graphed. Sometimes you married well. I met a lady years ago, ended up living with her actually, and she got divorced. She didn't want to get, she was quite happily married, but from the financier, was extremely wealthy financier, and he divorced her, but he looked after her. And I said to her, I met her on holiday actually, and she's telling me, about this, that, and the other. I said, I'd managed to do that. And she's quite open. She said, I'm married well. All right. How do you make all your money there, Zeph? Well, Zeph is a multimillionaire and Zeph's an honest guy. Well, I won the lottery. Well, good luck. You know what I mean? It can happen. But otherwise, it's grind, and that's how the winners win. You know what I mean? Okay. Hope that's all clear before we move on to the Dow. Right. Another thing, I'm going back to Florence again. A comment she made there. Burn last week, still recovering. First of all, I like that comment, still recovering. So she's looking to recover. She's not giving up. Now, it's quite easy to do that. You've had a good run and you think, solved it all now. You start getting it bigger and then you've got it sussed and then you have a bad run and all the confidence is blown. Now you're feeling down. I'll give up for a game of soldiers, or you're going to stick with it and go in minute positions as your confidence shot. So last week, you lost 5 trades and you lost 100 units. The next week, you win 5 trades, you only make 20 units because you didn't stick to the strategy. If you're going to trade, I can afford to risk 20 units, okay? Whether you're in a good mood or a bad mood, in a bad run or a good run, 20 units. Of course, if your capital is reduced, maybe adjust it, etc., obviously. But just say you worked on 20, work on that. But that's what people do. That's emotional, and it's quite understandable. I've done it myself. Nothing wrong with it. So I'm trying to just say it's experience talking here. Because you had a good run, 20 ain't going to cut it. You're missing out. You go to 40 till you get smacked. When you had a bad run, 20 ain't going to cut it. You go for 10, and you have a good run. The trouble is you only make a certain amount on the good run with 5 winning trades, but you lost a big one on the big ones because you overdid it when your confidence and greed was on a high. Be disciplined. You won the last one, that you bogeyed the last hole. You could par this one or you could bogey it. That was then. this is a situation that's changed. So I would say maybe it's a good idea. I quite like it. It's had a well-known aspect, but I'd rather get it at a better price. Don't chase it on old news. Hope that's all makes sense. Yeah, but I like your attitude. Recover, but recover with discipline. Right. Okay, Cecil, good stuff. We'll start off with the Dow. Now, clearly the Dow and the market's been going up, right? I'll talk a bit about this. If I'm boring, you say so. Now, at the moment, I'm in the daily, yeah. It's got a lot of help on the upside direction from the non-farms and the weaker dollar. Fair enough, so far, so good. However, the underlying problems are still there. Recession in Europe, high, enormous debt in the US. They are not going to pull back the social spending. Biden does his told, by the way, I hate to say it, but that he will going to lose votes because a massive amount of his voters, let's be nasty, are freebies. They need money from the government to survive. So he gets his votes by social programs that cost money which they don't have, so they have to borrow it. They ain't going to cut back on that. He'll lose votes. I'm not sure people still think they're out on your side. Everyone's out on their own side. And their currency is votes, and the swamp are backing him to get back into power again at the next election. Anybody who can be in opposition to that will be touted, they control the media, be touted as evil and bad, and everything must be appeasing. They say it's non-racist, it's non-sect, and all that. That's all that's about is taking a trend, an emotional trend, gets a lot of headlines, steers people away from boring old economic reality, and it grabs, shall we say, the less educated, the less skilled person who's still got an equal amount of vote, even though the knowledge might not be equal, and they're still aiming at that's the target because that's where they get the votes from. So like a freebie for them. Don't play around with their grants or whatever it happens to be. The problem is they're not great. It's costing money. So I am very worried about what we call a bull trap. Starts going up to these levels here. Now everyone says, hallelujah, back into the bull run, bull trap, etc. I'm not so sure about that. I think it could get a bit more up. It might go to the 100-day. It might get a move back at maybe 34,500. Could even go back up there. I am very wary of what I call a bull trap. That's because it starts getting extended. Anything that come out that where there's another government shutdown in the States or any more increasing debt, which inevitably will happen, fear creeps in again, an escalation in the Middle East and the war zone, and I think that market might take a bit of a dive. I personally think at this stage of the game, NAS and the Dow, it can be phenomenally remunerative, but like some, it's very well paid. Just be patient with it and just see if we cannot get a better price. I personally think I might be wrong, but I think a bull trap is happening, and not just a contrary view, but I think that could be taken advantage on the short side. But I don't see we got confirmation as yet. Make sense? Hopefully you're with me.
Roger, I did also hear last week was one of the best weeks on the Dow. I stand to be corrected. I think since 2021, something like that. So it was a hot week for the Dow.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I didn't come in too clear. Sorry, Chris's report. What did you say there? Can you repeat?
Sorry, I saw on CNBC that the Dow had one of their best weeks last week, over 500 points or something since 2020 or 2021, something like that. So it was a hot week for the Dow.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. We know that. But CNBC, like all of them, they report what's happened, which, well, if you're the trading, you'll know that anyway. So, yeah. By the way, guys, I can tell you right now, and you can pay me a lot of money for it, but the Dow went
We've lost you.
Is it me or is Roger gone?
I just spoke to Roger. He's having issues with his fiber and he's busy reconnecting.
Sorry about that, guys. Thanks, Chris. I think you've been informed that router given problems. I'm having some problem with fiber. Until that picks up and come back to business, we're using the router. I've knocked my video off, so try and save a bit of data, but my router's back and running again. I had it on charge outside for some reason, but it's still around a charge. I don't know why. I've got it plugged in, but it's inside just to make sure. But do excuse me. Now you know what's going on. We're back and running. Hope so I have my video. Hope you can hear me all right. Okay, I'm going to share screen back again. Then we can go into business. We probably lost all the chats, but that being as may, I'll just check now. Just give me a moment. I'll set it up now. Okay, get the chat line. Okay, I hope you hear me all right. I've lost all the chats. I do beg your pardon. I hope I can get this on going. If it's not tomorrow, it's not my bad to worry. Got the route to the backup, which is okay. I'll do my best. Okay, guys. Anyway, seem to be back up and running. It's still most of you there. Thanks, Chris, for giving me a call and explain to all the guys there. Just hang on and be patient. Okay, I've lost my thread a little bit after that. What the questions were? Bull trap. Okay, guys. Time it gets going, it knocks off again. I don't know about this because of charging. I had it charged outside of something. It seems to run out. I've got the router inside now, charging from this whole section. So I have that problem again. But unfortunately, the reception is not as good inside as outside. Sorry about that. It was fully charged before, and I even had it plugged into a sort of portable charger. I don't know why it knocked off. But if it happens again where we get kicked out, we'll probably have to call it a day till tomorrow and hope the fiber's back in order tomorrow. But this is outside my control. Hope we're all understanding on that. Okay. Right. In the meantime, I will share the chart, but if it kicks out again, we'll call it a day and catch you tomorrow. It doesn't happen very often, as you guys know, but usually it does. Okay. Where are we? And it's totally outside my control. Okay. Right. Any questions, guys? Can you hear me now? It seems to be continual on, off. So I'm sorry about this, guys. I think we need to wrap it up and catch you tomorrow. It happens very rarely if you're new to this, and it's completely not the company's my fault. It's the fiber down here. I'm not in Johannesburg. The fibre down here, it's a lovely quality of life down here, but the fibre does occasionally, it's quite expensive. Well, it's not that expensive, but it's handleable. But the what I'm trying to say is it seems to be a couple of issues at the moment till they get it sorted. I will continue tomorrow with the route as before. Just need to be patient till that's back up running properly. But it keeps kicking out. I'm having issues with the charts. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Sorry about the hassle. Okay. Okay, so it happening all the time. So, as I said, this is no good at all. Hopefully, it comes sorted out by then. Remember, it's not my fault. Hopefully, they'll get this fiber sorted out because the route's a good backup. We've had a pretty good trade route so far, but it's still a backup. It's not the real thing. And hope that fiber, whoever's the powers that be, can get it sorted. I don't know what the reason is. Okay, catch you tomorrow. Sorry about that. Thanks, Cecil. And thanks always for your patience and for the support, etc. It's my fault. I put my hand up, but it is not my fault. Nothing I can do about it. It's like when you get a glitch in the system on the data feed, outside of control. Okay, guys. So I think just laugh it off and catch you tomorrow. Good luck and hopefully get a nice day tomorrow. Good luck those trades you're in. The two this morning. Keep your fingers crossed. Good stuff.